Hello everyone, I'm here with the French Hall of Famer Raphael Levy. For a little bit of introduction, Raph has 3 prototypes. I think
Five.
Oh well, I just found the information on Wikipedia. Maybe like with the new system, you got like 2 more. Is that right?
Yeah.
Good job. I'm not really sure it like these like Mythic Championships and like the new system like counts into like the old Pro Tours, but anyway, it's a definitely good result. So let's just count that, I guess.
Don't take them out from me. Don't take them away from me. Come on. All be earned.
And then I think 23 GP top 8 with 6 wins. Is that correct?
Yep.
Correct. And you're currently in the MPL, and you're also like one of the players with like the most lifetime pro points, the most like GP plays, and stuff like that. So you know, Rav was just around forever. So I'm really glad I can talk to you today. How it's going, man?
I'm all good. I was waiting for you to contact me. I was like, man, is he gonna talk to everybody else before me? He just forgot about me. That's okay. Not taking it wrong.
Well, you you have to leave the best for for later.
That's good. That I understand that. That's why I was not really worried.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that you would figure that, so I hope you didn't get offended.
I mean, you need to like get ready to interview the best of the best. Like you just you need to get better at
Yeah, like the actual best is still like coming. We're still kind of early in the interviews, but it's not that bad for you, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, tell yourself what makes you feel good about that.
Oh, one other thing that I think is interesting about you, I think it's jiu-jitsu. Is that right?
Yeah.
You have a black belt. I don't really sure. Maybe it works like differently than in other sports, and maybe like the black thing doesn't mean as much. Maybe I should ask about. Okay.
No, it means a lot.
Okay, maybe I should. Yeah, sorry. I just thought that maybe I should ask about that like as a first thing. You're pretty good at jiu-jitsu. Can you just maybe like talk about how good you are, when did you started, and stuff like that?
So I'm a jiu-jitsu brown belt. I don't have my black belt yet. It takes forever to get the black belt, and that's a rank that you like work for a lot. It's not like, oh, you've been around for 10 years, so here is the belt. Like in kids karate, when like, oh, my kid is like a black belt, he's like 12. No, that doesn't work like this. So you have to earn them. You have to compete. You have to be there at trainings. You have to sweat. You have to bleed. You have to everything, and you have to give it all. And I haven't trained in a year now. I've started training in 2009. And I haven't trained for the last year because gyms are closed and it's not really something that's a priority right now.
I don't really know anything about jiu-jitsu. Like I know that there are like these different types of fighting. Some of them are like you just like hitting them. Some of them like aikido, you're just like using the power of your opponent to like put them in some position. How is jiu-jitsu? Yeah,
let's not talk about the aikido. Aikido just like,
okay, sure, whatever. I don't know anything about it, so.
Yeah, it's not. It's about most. It's between judo and wrestling, so there's no striking involved, only like grappling. So basically, you try to submit your opponent to get yourself in a position where if you would actually proceed to like do your move, your opponent would be just out of the fight, like breaking arms and breaking joints or choking your opponent out. So basically, if you try to end up in a place where you wouldn't lose the fight without striking.
So basically, in the fight in the tournaments, you get them into that position, and that means that you get a point or something like that.
Or they tap and you win the match.
Okay, I see.
And then there's a point system, which is like if no one taps, then you get points for like switching position, getting a better position than your opponent. You get points, and if no one taps, then whoever has the most points wins.
Did you actually go to like any tournaments?
Yeah, I competed for a while. Yeah, up until purple belt I competed, but since I got my brown belt, I haven't competed.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I don't think there's like any other Magic player doing that, but I was thinking about like doing some fighting sport for a long time, but I just can't get myself to do it. But maybe after Corona I will.
I think Kibler was doing college wrestling.
Oh, Oh, I see. Yeah. But isn't that a little bit different?
I think it's the closest you get to jiu-jitsu. Actually, it's different because like jiu-jitsu is fought with a gi, like a kimono, and wrestling is like no kimono, and it's the same idea. Like you try to get your opponent to the ground. It's mostly getting your opponent to the ground and like pinning your opponent down for a while. But you can have some kind of submissions. This is mostly only submissions.
So let's leave jiu-jitsu and let's talk about magic, because I assume that's why most of the people are watching this. You've been around forever. I obviously like know you since I entered the Pro Tour. We even been in the same team, but I don't actually know like about the beginnings. Can you just talk about like how did you get on the Pro Tour for the first time? How did you even start playing Magic? How did you like climb to become a pro? Like all of these things that people probably want to hear.
So I started playing Magic during Revised, like during Antiquities Revised. Antiquities was out already. Revised was out, and I got to buy Antiquities packs. So that's back in 94, I think 94, 95. So you're probably not born at that point.
I am 94.
94, so around that time.
I'm actually pretty old. I'm turning 27 in like 2 months. So.
Wow, dude, you're like ancient.
Yeah, I know, right?
So I started around then with friends. With like home rules because we didn't speak English. And then I got interested in the game. I went to this place where they played cards, played video games. Back in the days, you had these places where you could like rent a console for a few minutes or maybe an hour. You would play video game like Super Nintendo or Neo Geo. You also tables to play board games, and that's where like close to my place you had this kind of places. And there were older people who knew actually how to play Magic. So I asked them like, so how do you play this game? How do you actually play this game? Because we have our own rules, and they like some things don't make any sense. So I got to learn, and soon after I got to play tournaments because I really enjoyed the competition. I was playing chess at school. I was not very good at chess, but I used to be better than most at school, and I really like competing at chess. So I started playing the tournaments. Every tournament I could play, I played them. And that lasted for like maybe 2 years. It feels like it lasted forever. Like when I think of it, it's like, oh, remember that tournament and that other tournament and that other tournament. Like now when I think of it, it's like 1 or 2 years apart. But back then it felt like an eternity. Then I played, I think it was in 96, regionals, qualified for French championships the first time, nationals. I didn't do well. The next year I qualified again, qualified for Worlds. That was in 97 on the French team. And then the next year, 98, I qualified for the PT. I won a GP, qualified for Worlds, made top 4. That was August 98.
How old were you back then?
Yeah.
No, how old were you during that time?
So I was born in 81. So when I first played the PT in 97, I was 15. My first PT I was 15, and I was 16 when I top 4'd Worlds. And since then, I've missed one PT in 2017 when my son was born. So it was a streak of 91 PTs in a row, something like that. So I never really, quit. I had like ups and downs, and I just loved the grind and loved playing. I loved traveling to GPs, and yeah.
You said at the beginning that even with chess, like you were pretty competitive. Maybe you weren't as good, but you wanted to play all the tournaments. When you started playing Magic, were you like immediately thinking about like going to like bigger tournaments and stuff like that, or was it just like you played for fun, but you like randomly qualified? So,
what happened was the DCI only came to our town, to like our city, to Toulouse, in 96. So that's when I got my DCI number. My DCI number has 6 numbers. There were tournaments before in France, but only in Paris, I think. I'm not even sure. I think it was the first year. Because the first Frenchies that got DCI numbers, it's because they qualified for the first PT New York.
I see.
Do you know how you qualify for that PT, right?
You just like message them, right?
No, you had to call them.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, you had to call them, and you flew to New York to play it. So, I obviously did not know about that because that was only a
so
select few who knew about that. Mostly from Paris. I don't
Did
think
like
people
anyone who called them just like got in, or did you were there people who called and they didn't get it anyway? Do you know?
I think some people didn't get it. I know people who played, so we can probably ask them at some point.
Mhm.
So what happened was I was not athletic. I had been like the little guy the whole time at school. I didn't like sports. I was sick when I was very small, so I had like a tough time growing up. So I only got like to adult size like very late. Like even when at the beginning of the PT, like people looked at me like, dude, this kid is like so small. I was very small. It took me a while to get to adult size. So why is it relevant is because I could not compete in sports. I couldn't compete in anything else. So I wanted to prove myself in something else. And chess was one of the things. And then Magic, I would see like, wow, these guys are like so old. They're probably like 18 or 20, but like to me they were old. They're like 4 or 5 years older. Like I can't beat these guys. Like this is a game. I can beat them at this game. So that's where the competitive aspect of the game just like was really important to me. So when the first tournaments came up, I was like, yeah, I need to prove myself. I need to show them that like I'm better at this. And then that's how it happened.
You said that over your career you missed only one pro tour, and that was when your son was born. But there were like ups and downs. Can you like maybe think of like maybe like the worst times when you like maybe just wasn't really feeling it, maybe wasn't like winning as much, and you were like maybe thinking about quitting? I'm not sure if those times actually like were there, but if they did, can you like maybe talk about that?
So over like 20 plus over 20 plus years, there were obviously ups and downs, and there were a lot of us. How to like put that in perspective? Let's see. So first, like in 98, 99, that's where I got like a lot of results. I won a GP. I made top 4 like twice in PTs when I was really young, and I did really well. That's probably when I played the best. I played best Magic actually. And then so there was, at that point I was like 16, 17, 18, and I was still in high school. So that was kind of hard to juggle between classes like high school and competitive Magic. And when the teacher were like, oh, you gotta have to choose between playing competitive, like between like traveling and school, we're like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not gonna pass on that opportunity. I'm not gonna come to class for 3 days and then you like this is not gonna matter. I'm gonna go play the PT. Screw that.
Yeah, of course.
So I was really motivated then, and didn't really. I was, to my parents, it was like, to my mom actually, it was like, as long as I did fine at school, I could just keep going. And I was not very good at school because I was spending most of the time playing Magic.
Yeah, I can relate.
I was, and that's stupid because I can see now how easy it was.
Yeah.
I see what kids are doing in high school. I'm like, geez, was I really average then? Like, was I average? Did I have like 10 out of 20 in these tests? Man, I could take them now without having studied a single minute and ace it like very easily. So I was really lazy. I was like, but that's the spirit of a Magic player, trying to optimize your time, right? Mm-hmm. So if you need 10 to pass an exam, you're not going to study to have more than 10. And that's stupid because that kind of misses the whole point. Like the point is for you to learn stuff, not to have 10. But since you're a Magic player, like, oh, optimize stuff, so I'm just going to have 10. And that's what I did for most of my like school years and university years. But university is much harder. So when I first started studying, I studied math and computers. That was a different level, and I could not do Magic and this at the same time. So I had to choose at that point. Like, yep, screw the studies. I can't study that. It takes too much time. It was like 50 hours a week plus everything you had to do at home. I did not.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you actually believe that even until to this day? Because like I also had that decision, and I thought that I cannot do both. But like as I'm getting older, I'm like coming to realization that I was just like lazy, and I used it as an excuse so that I don't have to study. But I think that if I tried really hard, it would be possible. But
so for my scientific studies, no, there was no way I could do it.
Okay.
I was just not ready, and felt like I was not good enough in high school to have the level required to just enter the university. like they take everybody who succeeds, who passed the high school exam. You can just make it and you like sign up and you go through
Yeah,
classes. But it was just like another level. I was like, man, it feels like I'm missing like 2 years of studying, and I did not put the effort to get back to the level required. And it feels like even now, like that was something else. I would not have been able to do it. So I quit this because I was like, no ways. I took a year off to just travel and do stuff. I lived abroad for a while. I learned another language.
Where did you live?
I lived in Israel for a while.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
Yeah. And I learned Hebrew there. And I was like a different person when I got back. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'm ready to study now. I mean, I'm still playing Magic. I kept playing Magic. That was what pretty much kept everything together. Like my life is Magic and the rest. I knew at some point I would have to, either quit Magic or do something else with my life because that was not a job. So I kept on like playing Magic while doing other stuff. I started studying like languages and economics, like English, Spanish, because I could learn Hebrew pretty easily. So like my Spanish
is it similar to like some other language? So like I have no idea.
Not really.
Not comparable.
No.
Okay.
It's very different, but it's not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, well, might as well just do languages now because I kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Spain. I spent the whole summer in Spain to learn Spanish to get back.
Can you
do everything I
Spanish?
should have done during high school. Huh?
Can you speak Spanish?
Yeah, I can speak Spanish.
Nice.
My Spanish is better than my Hebrew.
Wow.
So I spent 4 years at university. I graduated, and I was like, okay, so what now? Now I have a degree. And during the university years, I wanted to not do well, but at least pass. So these are not my most successful years, like Magic wise.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're talking ups and downs, university are probably downs, but I kept qualifying. So I was still like top 8 GPs and stuff, but I was not winning as much as I wanted. And at the same time, the Ruels were doing well. Gabby was doing well. Nassif was doing well. So when you have this competitive spirit to be the best, and you obviously can't because you don't put enough time. Also, I was in Toulouse, so there was nobody to play with. Internet was not exactly what it is now, so you can't really. You couldn't test, you couldn't play. So it was much harder to get ready for tournaments to be at the best level then. So around then, it was probably not the best years. Then after I graduated, I was like, okay, so what do I do now? I still have no clue. That I have a degree, but that doesn't help me. I don't know what to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
And probably a lot of Magic pros or old pros, they weren't through the same phase. I was like, okay, well, what do I like in life? And you realize that what do I like and what do I do well? And you're like, well, I like traveling and I like playing Magic. So that kind of closed a lot of windows. So I'm like, okay, I need a fresh start. I had also, I had other stories I need to, get over with. I didn't want to be in France. I didn't want to be anywhere close like that area of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I left to Sweden to live in Sweden. I just moved
really?
to Sweden.
I had no idea that you like lived in so many countries. That's very interesting. I just like see you in like a very different perspective right now.
All right. Well,
in a good way though. In a good way.
Because we don't know each other. We hang out, but you're the generation that doesn't know what happened before.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good making this interview then. So now I know.
Well, now you know. So I lived in Sweden for about a year and a half. I did not plan to come back. My plan was to just leave to Sweden, never come back. That's my fresh new start. Maybe I'll find something there, and we'll see. So I learned Swedish there.
Oh, really? What the fuck? How many languages do you speak?
5.
Wow.
Well, now I don't.
More than me.
I don't practice as much, and I kind of feel like I missed on, improving that language. I know a lot. I could speak if I get back into it. Like right now, I wouldn't be able to switch from English to Swedish to get back. But I like attended classes for a year and a half. So that's one thing. Mm-hmm. I played with a lot of Swedish players that now that no one knew back then. Like Kenny, you probably know Kenny. You probably know Per. Dennis. Well, just say yes.
Yeah, okay, I know Dennis, yeah.
You know that. Dennis Rashid, Kenny Oberg.
Oh, I know Dennis Rashid. Okay.
Yeah, and there was my good friend Matthias Jorstedt. That maybe you don't know, but he was from before.
I learned how I should be just saying yes. So yeah.
I knew. No, I stayed at Ule Rada. You know Ule?
Yeah, of course.
Well,
I beat him 3 times on a Pro Tour, so.
Okay, good. Yeah, he was living in another city, so I stayed at his place for like 6 months or something. So that was a very good experience. And at some point, my mom got sick, so I got to, move back to Toulouse, take care of shit, and I never went back. So then I got back to France, and I'm like, okay, well, everything in Sweden is gone. Like I can't go back now. I still don't have any perspective for the future, so I'm just gonna, try to look more for what to do. And eventually, I came to the realization that I like to do Magic. I like to travel. I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm gonna do some freelance work just to pay the bills. I worked in translation. I did some translation work for a long time. I'm gonna write articles. And that's it. And if it's just a little money to pay the bills, that's probably good enough. And that I'm going to embrace it. I'm not going to feel bad anymore about it. Mm-hmm. Because for a long time, that was, that was bad. That was something like looming over you. Like, what are you going to do with your life?
But I think it's just like a social pressure, because we just thought that you have to like go study and then you get a job and you're there until you are 70 and then you die. So like people like pressure you because they think that if you don't do that, like something bad's gonna happen. But like they're not really solving that problem by going to some random job and making like little money, So yeah. I think it's just a pressure.
So you have this social pressure, and people telling you like, they look at you like, oh, but this guy does not have a real job, and you're like, at first they're like, come on, yeah, that's true. I don't have a real job. That's true. I do some shit job, some shit work, but I'm happy. I'm happy the way I live. And as soon as I embrace that, it's like, well, I do whatever I want, and I don't owe you anything. I'm happy the way I live, and I'm happy. I don't want to do anything else, so I'm gonna do this. And since the moment I said, I want to do that, I want to stick to it, and it went much better. I felt much happier, and also, Magic got better too. Like I had ups and downs, and at some point, yeah, that got much better. So when I started winning again, that was probably in 2007. Like when I got back from Sweden, and I was like, I had probably to take my mind off what's going on at home, and like I started winning. Like I won the GPs in like Singapore, Dallas, and I top 8 another PT, and for some reason just started playing better again. So, and the ups and downs again from this time, but now. So much has happened since then. Like I'm telling you. Do you still feel that like pressure of like, what if everything goes wrong and I have nothing to do even until to this day? So I do not, because now I'm married. I have 2 kids. I got married in 2014 to the best.
I know her. She's great.
She's the best. Now for reals. And now we have 2 kids. The last one was born 3 months ago today.
Oh, really? Congrats.
Thank you. And I know that if things go bad, like if I'm not in the MPL next year, which is very likely. Wait, weren't you winning like a lot this year? I was winning a lot at the beginning, but not. I kind of got 2 bad tournaments.
We will get to that later. Just go ahead.
Yeah. And I still have 1 year in Rivals if I don't make it, which is that's still fine. And I made enough in the last 2 or 3 years that I can find my way back on my feet if everything goes wrong. And also now, like, I feel super lucky to be at the place I'm at right now, because like so many people lose their job and don't know what to do, and this world is a crazy place. Like now you should know, and there's nothing you can expect from anything. Everything is so unpredictable. Mm-hmm. If you thought that, like for a long time, people thought, oh, I have a job, I have a degree, I can do I'll do this for the rest of my life and I'll be safe. And then something happens, like, you know, last year, and people are like, oh, I lost my job, I can't pay my bills, what am I going to do? And, well, the only thing you have to do is to be, you know, flexible and to know different things and know that you will be able to get back on your feet when things go back to normal. Or if it doesn't, then you have a backup, and that's kind of what I prepared for. Like, I know if Magic goes down or if I don't get to play Pro Magic, I know I have enough skills in different fields that I'll be able to do something else. So I'm not too worried, and I know how lucky I am to be in that position. But on the other hand, I put myself in that spot just, you know, to live the way I want. So
yeah, I don't think you should be worried. Like the safe job just gives people like this false like feeling of security, but as you said, it's not really there. Something happens, and then like what are they gonna do? You know, like yeah. I think it's all the same. So I've interrupted you with the fact that I thought that you were winning a lot, but you said you maybe aren't as much as I thought. Can you can you maybe like talk about like your MPL years, like what is up with you and Magic like in the last couple 2 years?
So we played actually what was one of the most important matches of my career. Like this is actually like you and I played one of the most important matches I played. So why? So I'll tell the story. So
sorry.
So in 2000, what was it? 18? 18.
Yeah. No, I think maybe 19, right? It was 2 years ago.
Maybe 2 years ago. Okay, yeah, 2 years ago. So I was playing this season where, you know, in Cleveland I played Merfolk. I did really well.
I remember that.
Yeah, when everybody else on the team didn't win a single match.
Wait, you mean with the deck or like in general?
With the deck in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. So I did really well. And then I played London. I played London, and we had like X and 4, and I played you last round.
That must suck, man. Like you just like hope to X4, and then you like see the pairing and say, "Oh my god."
And you felt the matchup was good. I felt the matchup was fine. You win, which was unfortunate for me. And I'm like, okay, well, another X5, that's fine. Well, that's too bad. And then a couple of months later, I get a wild card to play in the Mythic Championship 3. And at that tournament, I do well. I make like.
I'm sorry to interrupt. What were the reasons why you got the wild card? Do you know?
I'll get
sure.
I'll get there in a second.
Yeah.
So, I do really well. I make like top 16, so I qualify for the next one. And it doesn't matter how I did there. I did fine there. I did fine in Richmond, and that's how I made top 4. I made it to the MPL, and I made it to Worlds. So that's like from the point, like beginning of 2019, I was gonna have no job and gonna fall off the tournaments, and that was like that was not a good time. Beginning of 2019 was not a good time for me, and from then I got back up, and like that was extremely lucky. I don't know how to say that, how to explain that. So why I got the wildcard, I don't know. The wildcard got given to Kai, LSV, and me. So we were 3 to get them. Then it was given to Nassif and to Sivka, I think, or maybe Sivka qualified. No, to Strasky. Strasky got a wildcard as well.
Yeah, Strasky is just hot, and everyone loves him, so he's just getting everything for free.
Yeah, right. No, they just like me. I mean, I've been around for a long time, so I guess.
Do you maybe think that the fact that you were like kind of close in the points, and like you were a known person, so they maybe wanted you in the MPL, like played a role in that? You don't think so?
I think the other way around. I don't think they wanted me in the MPL.
Okay.
Because, so that's where our matches comes into play. So I think if I had beaten you, I would have had too many points, and they would not have invited me. So at too many points, and like in the race the challenger race, I would have had too many points, and I was like, no, this is unfair for the other challengers.
I see. Okay.
It's unfair to the other challengers, so we should not invite him because it's gonna raise too many eyebrows. And the fact that I invited LSV, Kai, and myself, that was fine because I was just like first in the rankings. But like since I did well and I kept doing well, that like kind of snowballed. and I believe that
That's
I don't won that day against you, I would not have been where I am right now. So losing is kind of winning here.
See?
So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You.
You're welcome.
So yeah, that was kind of wild. And yeah, the world at what? I passed the first round, the first stage, and lost the second stage. But Nassif played the same deck and made it to the top 4. I did find the first 2 MPL weekends. Then I scrubbed out at the Zendikar Championship and scrubbed out last week at this third league.
Oh, you play like the mono black deck, right?
Yeah, I mean I beat you in the.
I remember. Yeah.
I beat you in the.
I know.
On the ladder. Wait. What? There's a little guy.
No worries.
Dis-le à maman Coco.
Hello.
Ah, salut.
Bonjour.
That's the little guy. That's number 1. That's little 1. Tu vois maman? And so yeah, well, I think that's about the summary of the last. Maybe just a few words on like where I was in 2019, because that's actually pretty important. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Go.
It's very funny.
So, and in 2018, that's where they announced that there was not going to be basically they announced the MPL, and they say, okay, well, top 32, I don't remember, top 24.
Yeah, I think it was 32. So I think,
32.
yeah, I was kind of close. I was pretty mad because maybe if they announced it earlier, I would try harder. So
yeah, top 32 is going to make it to the MPL. Everybody else, well, bad beat.
yep.
And I was like, okay, so they choose one of the years where I skip one PT
Oh shit. Yeah.
to define who's going to be playing Magic next year. I'm like,
Yeah, as I
forever.
said, like they said it like basically after the season was over, and like a lot of people would play a lot harder or like went to more tournaments if you knew that. It was like kind of a bummer.
So it's not like I don't think I was any close, but that's a year where I couldn't spend time playing Magic because little one was born, and I was completely out of it because I had like a really tough year. Was like sleeping, and I actually thought I was sick because I could not think properly, and I went for blood tests and stuff just because I was not myself. I did not understand, and I finally went to the doctor and said, well, look, did you just have a kid? Yes. Well, do you sleep well? Not really. Well, but I take a week to rest before tournaments. Yeah, you don't need a week for that. You need actual like month to recover. Wait, merci mon coco. Merci mon doudou. Okay, give me a second. Tu veux venir dire bonjour? Tu veux dire bonjour? Okay, he's gonna come say hi. Well, I'll tell the story.
Okay.
Hey, viens coco. Viens doudou. Ah! Ok, mais par contre, tu dis rien.
Maybe I should interview him.
Yeah, maybe you should interview him.
Ici.
T'as de la thune? C'est cool ça. All right, and so that was and also we could also think that GPs that were going to be gone as well.
Mm-hmm.
If the way they announced it, GP were not going to be played, and it was not going to be any coverage. And that was one of my jobs too. I was doing coverage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that.
And without GPs, I would also lose my job as a coverage guy. And with the MPL coming out, okay, now. Sorry about that. And so I was gonna lose that gig too. And at the same time, I was writing for a site. And I was like, okay, if the MPL is out and I'm out of the train, why would they keep hiring me? So I'm also going to lose my writing job.
Yeah.
And that happened very soon after, 1st of January or 2nd of January 2000, was it 19? Yeah, 19.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, well, sorry, we're going to cut writers, so you're gone. So I knew it was coming. I saw everything coming. And I was like, yeah, well, this is a bad time. And that's when I started streaming. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to play Magic and I'm going to take a few months to think about it. and I started streaming, and that's probably one of the reasons I got invited to the Mythic Championship. So everything went very fast, and from I don't have anything, I qualified for World, I made it to the MPL, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing now. I'm streaming, I'm playing, and
that's good, man. I'm happy for you.
Well, thank you. So yeah, things go up, things go down. It's very unpredictable, and Magic is a very unpredictable game as well. So you have to enjoy it while it lasts.
One of the last things that I would like to ask about. I think at some point, I don't know if it's the case still, but you had like some kind of like magazine in France. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm still like, well, not really. I was working as I was the publisher of a jiu-jitsu magazine in France. I run it for 7 years. That was my backup. I was like, when you don't have tournaments and you don't have anything to prepare for, you just need to spend your time somehow. So I was doing that. So when I was in Brazil in 2010, I trained in Brazil for a few months, jiu-jitsu in Brazil. And
Nice.
I met some people who ran the magazine in Canada. And I was like, I have nothing to do in France. I can just, import it. So I just started it. That was big work. And I had the graphic designer I was working with. He just bailed on me at the beginning. And why is it relevant? It's because I needed another designer. And at the time, we were separated with Monica because we couldn't find any way to live together.
Yeah, she's from South Africa, right?
South Africa, yeah. And she was like, "Oh, maybe I can help you." So we started working again together. And at some point, we're like, "Okay, well, let's make it work because it has to work." And that's when we got married, and so she moved to France, and we ran the magazine, the two of us, for 7 years. And now it's just online because, with the MPL and stuff, it was just not possible. I didn't have any more time to commit to it.
Well, I think I've asked most things that I wanted to ask. Maybe there's still something that you want to talk about, but if not, I'm fine.
Okay, bye. No, I mean, it's a summary of more than 20 years, and I have so many stories, so many things, and I sometimes tell the stories on stream, or if you dig the archives of the sideboard. The sideboard is the wizard site. If you dig the archives of many sites, I tell a lot of Magic stories, a lot of traveling, a lot of people you might not know anymore. It's hard to sum everything up in 45 minutes or 30 or 45 minutes, I don't know. But I've seen a lot in the world of Magic, and I think there's still a lot to come. Maybe better, maybe worse. Well, right now it's kind of strange because I'm one of the lucky few that can play competitively, and I know it's not easy for the people who want to be competitive, and they're it's hard to qualify for the.
It sucks.
I know it sucks, and I'm not saying, oh yeah, it's great right now. Doesn't matter. I think
it's mostly because of Corona. Not just Magic, a lot of the disciplines just kind of suck right now. So I think given the situation, they're doing a pretty good job. I'm actually not mad at them. I think if Corona wasn't around, then we could have the partial qualifications and all the GPs and stuff would be fine. So I'm not that mad at them actually.
I mean, I honestly I don't really know how you qualify or how you play competitive Magic. I haven't really paid attention. I know a lot of people mad at that, but yeah, there's one thing about the future, because we talked about the past. I want to talk about the future, and that's maybe a little controversial, but I don't think that Magic should go back to what it was. And I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but that's where I stand right now. I think the way they replaced the PT is sustainable, is a lot more sustainable than the way it was. I like traveling, I like going around, but when you see the world how it is now and where it's going, I don't think making big events to play Magic is sustainable for anybody and for the planet either. I know that's the old man talking now, because now I'm seeing the future of, not for myself but for the kids, and you see that, you try to be careful with what you buy, with what you what you do, what you spend in terms of energy, and you can be hopeful, say, oh yeah, but someone's gonna find a solution to not make the planet explode.
Yeah, but like I don't think that's like a real argument, right? Like, if you count like all the people traveling to like everything, like just like a pro tour is like such a extremely small percentage of it. It just doesn't. It's not.
Yeah, but that's.
I know that if everyone thinks that, then it's like bad. But I don't think that like their decision is ever going to be based on that, because it just doesn't really matter in like the big.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest problem of this world right now, is that.
No. I agree with you. I'm just saying that like.
I understand exactly.
Yeah.
I know this is not easy to understand. It's like, yeah, you traveling to a PT is not going to make a big difference. Yeah, that's true. Like in the big scheme of things, yeah, it's not going to make a big difference. However, if everybody thinks that, there's never going to be any change. So while I love the PT, I love the GPs, I think playing 20 GPs a year plus 7 PTs and having hundreds of people plus all their organization move to this, I think it's time. If we've learned anything from this crisis, it's that people should be more responsible, not on a personal level, but on a global scale. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, a lot of people think, oh, I don't give a crap. I can go outside. I can get sick. I'm not going to die from it. Yeah, but you're missing the point here. Like, it's not about you. It's about everybody else. And if we start thinking a little more, globally, that would probably help a little bit. And we so I know this is a little bit out of magic, but this is how I feel right now, and I think it's important. If we start thinking globally and with ways to find ways to replace old habits or old bad habits, and I think, well, I love the PT, I love it. I've been around for 25 years, and that might be the best time to actually move on to something more sustainable. If it's not, then I know I'm going to keep playing because it's my life and it's too hard to give up on. But if everybody makes the step, then we might move on, and maybe other will do the same things, and maybe we'll save the world one day, but it's not looking good right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's you're the first person who like talked about that, so it's very interesting. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I started that thread on Twitter, and that went exactly as expected. Mm-hmm. Like, people agreeing and people saying, oh, but you don't know anything about like climate change. Like, yeah, but I kind of do, and I kind of know.
I'm not like disagreeing with you or saying that you're wrong. I just think that like in the grand scheme of things, it's not gonna really matter, and I also don't think they will ever take that into consideration. So I just think it's kind of like a waste of time for me to even think about that. But I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the problem with everything now. Like, like what you do on a personal scale, it's not gonna matter. But it's
well, I just think that there are like infinite problems on like everyday basis that I like encounter, and if I was just like thinking about all of them, like I know that if I care about it, it's not really gonna make a big difference, but it makes a big difference for my personal life because it takes time from me from doing like other things. And then I know your argument is like, if everyone thinks that, then nothing's ever going to change, but at the same time I cannot really like make my life significantly worse while not changing anything by doing that.
I agree, and I'm also like, I'm not. I do things that are not good for like the grand scheme of things. Mm-hmm. I understand that, and it's a lot of effort. I know I'm nowhere close to where I should be if I want to save the planet, but
but it's good that you're trying. Like I definitely think that's awesome.
Because in the end, that's the only thing that's gonna matter. All your problems, because I know that sounds very pessimistic. That's very pessimistic, but it's probably the way you start feeling when you have kids. because you worry about them and you don't worry about yourself anymore. When you worry about yourself, you're like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to die in 20, 30, 50 years. I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm at that stage right now.
Well, like in 30 years, like it is pessimistic because that's the most likely projection of the world. Like in 2050, this is not it's not like you will be able to do what you can do now. It's just not going to be possible. Why? Because you do what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not like an idea or a theory. This is literally what's going to happen. We know exactly, like very close to exactly what's going to happen. And the bad thing is that there's almost nothing we can do because we all think the same way, as in, oh well, I'm still going to go to the PT and whatever, I'm happy now. I'm not going to give up on the PT to save the like 0.0001% of whatever I can save. And that's the problem. And I think it doesn't have anything to do with Magic, a little bit because we're talking about the PT.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's very noble. It's very noble, man.
And I'm talking to you and I'm streaming this conversation, which is also not great, but what
Oh, you are?
I'm streaming with you now. I'm streaming with you.
Oh, I thought that your like Twitch stream was on right now or something.
Yeah. So there's no good solution, and we're all in this together, and we'll realize it soon enough that maybe the best way is to play online.
All right. Thanks, Raph, for taking your time with me today. It was fun. If anyone
except the end, maybe it's not that fun, but
well, it wasn't really meant to be fun, but it was interesting to me. So I guess I wouldn't really describe it as fun, but it was like a positive experience, basically.
That's good then. I'm happy about that.
If you guys like the video, please click on the like and subscribe button, and bye, Raph.
Bye.